Hey guys, how you doing? In case you aren't here, I work with triathletes and I get them faster in the water and just in general to try to get those goals done. If you've got a great goal, I love helping people meet their goals. In fact, it really makes me crazy when someone has a big goal and they can't figure out how to get there. There's something in their way. So I've made it my life's work to try to figure out how to get rid of those barriers. And today I know there are a lot of you out there who are pretty excited about this new event that we have out here in Central Texas, which is the 70.3 in Waco. And I've seen a lot of interest generated by having this new event. And I really appreciate all you guys watching. Thanks for being here. And so I want to talk to you a little bit about what you need to be able to finish a 70.3, especially if it's your first one. And maybe you've been wondering, what do I need to do? I've been doing a bunch of sprints. I've just been showing up and swimming fast and trying to do my thing and just redlining it. How do I take what I've done and turn that into a good 70.3? So I wanted to give you a couple of good pointers here. And the main thing that I want you to take home is that it takes consistent work. So part of the appeal of getting into triathlon for me was the fact that each part of a sprint seemed super doable. You know, for me, swimming was not a big deal. For some people, to swim is really intimidating. But riding for 12 miles is not that hard if you know how to ride a bike. And running a 5K is something that a lot of beginner runners set as a goal. So those parts are all pretty doable. Putting it together is a little different. We all know that our triathlon has its own set of weird logistics. But a sprint is pretty doable if you're in decent shape. So, you know, if you forget to run for a couple of weeks and you show up, it's not really going to be that big of a deal. Maybe you only swam 3 or 4 times and you showed up. You probably weren't going to drown if you knew what you were doing. So being really consistent with your training when you're doing a sprint is not that big of a deal. And even an Olympic, you can limp along. But if you want to show up to a 70.3 and you want to give a really good effort there, you are not going to be able to miss those sessions. They need to happen. And it gets challenging. And boy, when you step up to that next level of Ironman, making sure that you get that work done every week is so important because you really need the load to be high and you need to be really comfortable. My kitty is visiting us, so hopefully she won't be too loud. All right. So, you know, getting the work done consistently is really the result. I use Training Peaks. I really love to use the performance management chart, which is something that you get when you are a premium member. But even if you're not, you can see this thing on the side called the TSS score, and it's rating your efforts that week based on how long you were working and how that intensity compared to your threshold rate, paces or heart rate or watts or whatever you've got for each of the 3 sports. And so if you see those numbers being pretty consistent, maybe you pull back for a rest week. That could either be a life-determined one, you know, a business trip or a vacation with your family or something came up. Having those just kind of happen every 3 to 4 weeks turns out really great. You don't even have to plan your rest week. Your life will just plan them for you. That works pretty well. But if you're being really consistent with your load and you're getting a long bike ride, you're getting a long run, you're getting plenty of long swims in, plus 1 other session in each sport for a total of at least 6 workouts a week on a regular basis, you're gonna get that accumulated load so that you have a good degree of fitness. You wanna build that fitness up over time. This is not something that you're just gonna build really quick, maybe in the last 4 weeks before your event. You actually need to be kind of tapering off at that point. So getting that consistency in there is important, and you know, to be consistent, you need to get started. Kitty, you're making my camera shake. There's Kira. All right, goodbye, Kira. All right, I think I got that door locked securely now. All right, so you gotta get started. And if you've been doing this kind of, I'm gonna show up to a sprint and just kind of wing it, you're gonna have to change your approach to getting your workouts in. So just being ready to do something a little bit different to really bring that game of consistency, making that decision that you're gonna be consistent, that's step number 1. And I want you to think about, okay, let's say you show up at that 70.3. How important is it that you actually do well on that day? How important is it that you even show up there? Are you the only one who knows that you're doing it? Or do you have 10 or 15 friends who know that you're signed up. You said you were committed. They are going to hold you to it. They know what's important to you. So, having that outside expectation, it can be a helpful thing because it will keep you focused. And also, some people are just, there is nothing in the world that could stop them from getting to that goal. I totally understand that. When I signed up for my first 70.3 way back in 2010, it was an August event. I signed up for it in January, and in February, I broke my collarbone. And I could not get into the pool to swim until June, but there was nothing stopping me from finishing that event. I was on the spin bike as soon as I could be, spinning with my sling on, and then when the sling came off, I started running, and as soon as I could get my hand over my head again, which took all the way to June, I was in that pool knocking it out, and I finished that first event. So broken bones were not going to stop me. There was nothing that was going to keep me from finishing that event. So if you have that kind of drive, I am sure that you will find the drive to get the work done day in and day out, and that's really what it takes. So I gave you a couple of pointers about just really practical stuff. You need to have those long rides. By the time you get to about 4 weeks out from the event, you're going to want at least one of those rides to be the length of your event. You're going to want at least one run that's 10 plus miles, and you're going to need to have been doing 2,500 yard workouts in the pool pretty steadily once or twice a week to get ready for that event. So those are just some general guidelines that I use. But if you want more specific guidelines, I can definitely talk to you. So go ahead and message me, and I'd be happy to talk to you about it some more. But now I want to talk a little bit more about what goes on up here, because what I've learned about sport is that it's a lot about the physical. It's a lot about the mental game. It's the psychology that you bring to it. So I don't want you to be one of those people that says, yeah, I'm going to do Waco 70.3, and then around June you decide, well, I don't really want to do this event, and you just drop out. I get a lot of clients who do that. Some of them are just, there's nothing short of death that's going to stop them from finishing their race, and others where they just disappear. Work gets in the way. They just decide, well, maybe this wasn't really what I had in mind. I thought maybe, hey, Mike, how's it going? They decide, maybe I just wanted to lose some weight. Maybe I just thought maybe working out would be good, and if I set this goal, it would be helpful. But it wasn't really about the self that was going to be standing on that start line at that 70.3. So that's what I want to talk to you about now. If you are several months out from your event, how are you going to bring some good intention to every workout? I want you to think about yourself standing on that start line in your tri-suit or your wetsuit, your goggles on, your cap is on, you've got, your numbers written on your arm, the horn is about to go off. Who do you want to be at that moment? So I want you to really think about that. I want you to think about 3 words that you want to use to describe yourself at that moment, at your future self. All right, I'm going to give you a second here. I know how this works. A lot of y'all are introverts. You want to think about it. I want you to actually write it in the comments. If you're too chicken to write it in the comments, I want you to send it to me in a message. I know you're watching. You have to send it, okay? And in a minute, I'm going to tell you my words. But I want you to think about 3 words to describe yourself. All right, so here are my 3. I want to be fit. I want to be ready. I want to be ferocious. And I want to be really focused on executing my race plan. Since I want to be really fit, ferocious, and focused on my race plan, that means every workout that I show up to that's important, some of them are recovery days. Those recovery days are really important. But when it's an important day, I want to show up ready to get fit. I want to feel some of that intensity, that confidence, and I want to be very focused on executing the plan of that workout. There's a reason why it's written the way that it is. There's a reason why it's on that day. There's a reason why it's in that particular block of work. If you don't know what the reason is, ask your coach. Read your training plan more carefully. Figure it out. Know why you're doing what you're doing. And the ferocious, I've got my friend Fabian up here, Fabian Cancellara. If you are Tour de France fans or you've followed any road cycling in the last 10 years, he's retired now, but he's got this really ferocious face. Maybe you can pinch and make your picture a little bit bigger and see he's getting into the end of a time trial right there, which was his specialty, and he's got this look on his face. I love to have that look on my face when I'm swimming, when I am on my bike especially. I was like, got to keep the bugs out, so you got to keep your teeth together, but just really bringing that intensity and knowing what I'm focused on and knowing that I've done the work so I could be confident to really bring the intensity that I want to, and I don't have to hold back because I showed up not prepared. All right, so 3 words that describe yourself, and then those aren't just for your future. You really need to be those 3 words every day, and that's going to help you get to be that person, because you can't just show up 6 months from now and all of a sudden be those things if you haven't been them on the way. So that's really important. And then I want you to think about your next big workout. Maybe you've got a long swim that's coming up, maybe you've got a long bike ride this weekend, and maybe you're a little apprehensive about it, honestly. That's totally fine. I want you to set your intention now about what feeling you want to bring to that workout when you start it. What's going to help you to get through it and get the most out of it? Do you want to show up fearful? Do you want to show up not really wanting to do it? Tired? Underfueled? You don't want any of those things. And if you purposely set your intention for that key workout, and there might be 2 or 3 of those in a week, but you always set your intention as you go into that workout to be something that's going to be helpful, you're going to get so much more out of it. And you can even think in advance about how you want to feel when you're done. How do you want to feel after you've done that 6x200 swim workout? How do you want to feel after you did that track run? How do you want to feel after you did your first 50-mile ride in months or maybe ever? You know, do you want to feel excited? You might be exhausted. It's totally fine. But I want you to think about the emotion, about the feeling that you're going to have when you finish that thing. Because you know how important it is to the load that you're trying to build up over time, be ready for your big race day. So I want you to celebrate that a little bit. Okay? 3 words to describe yourself. Thanks for watching, you guys. 3 words to describe yourself. Set the intention, especially for those big workouts, especially the ones that are a little intimidating, or maybe the ones that you're like, I've done so many of these, I'm just not feeling it today. The day before, I want you to set things up so that you can feel it. This is what good athletes do, is they know how to get themselves ready mentally, emotionally, physically for every important workout. So make that part of your standard MO. That's just what you do. And you're going to show up on those workout days and be ready. You're going to show up to race day and be ready because of the readiness that you brought to each workout over time. So I want to encourage you guys to go to the new Facebook group that I've just started. I'm going to put the link here in the description. So if you're watching live, which I love, thank you so much for watching live, I'm going to come back in here and edit it and add that link. I'm going to start up a Waco 70.3 closed Facebook group. And there's not going to be free training plans there, but there is going to be a curriculum, especially as we get closer in maybe about 5 months out from the event, which isn't long, where every week I'm going to have a little bit of logistical information or some piece of information that's going to help you to do better at that race. And I want you guys to be there so that you can converse with each other. So if you have questions, you can put them there and get some thoughts from others, and you can also help other people as they get ready. If you've already done a 70.3, I would love to have you there. If you're doing a 70.3 this year, but it's not Waco, join anyway. We'd love to have you. And I'm really excited to put this curriculum together and get it out there to you guys and get your feedback on it. I'm really looking forward to this a lot. So I want to take some of what I've been doing on these Facebook Lives and just make it a little bit more practical and useful for a specific event, and that's what I'm looking to do there. So I'll put that link there. I'm going to link that group to this page, this Go the Distance coaching page, so you'll be able to find it as well. And go ahead and answer the couple of questions there, and I will add you to the group. All right, that sound good? Okay, awesome. I'm super excited to see you there. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope if you found any of this useful, if you'll just drop an emoji, and again, I want to see your 3 words. All right, 3 words. Put that in the comments and send me a message if you want to. Love talking with you guys. I'll see you guys again soon. Take care.